So the question is, have I ever gotten the cops called on me? Sharp Game coming at you with another episode from ChooseYourRelationships.com, author of Boss Life Secrets, which can be found on Amazon.com. So yeah, I've been talking about the Richard Sherman incident over the past week, and I just put up the 911 call that got released, I think about 2 days ago. So it's been some interesting feedback on the video, the live video I did, and the recorded video I did, in the 911 call that I put up. People, have different opinions and how they feel about the incident and how they see it, right? And then someone asked me, hey, have I ever had a woman call the cops on me? And the answer is, hell yeah. I've had the cops call on me more times than I can count. And the worst part about it, I didn't know who called the cops. It's one thing to be in a house and have someone in your family call the cops on you. I've had people call the cops on me, and we're living in the same neighborhood, and they see me every week, jogging, working out, going to the gym. I got a whole bunch of cop stories. I can tell. I had the cops call on me, and I just moved into an apartment, and the people upstairs called the cops after I was there for 2 hours. I'm not making this shit up. I moved all my stuff in this apartment. I'm not even situated yet. Shit's all over the place. Chaos. 2 hours. I get a knock on the door. Boom, 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 boom. And I kind of knew, I'm like, nobody knows I'm here. I just got here 2 hours ago. This is a cop. I know a cop's knock. I opened the door. It was a cop. He said he got a report of somebody making too much noise. I said, sir, look at this. I just got here. This shit is all fucked up in there. Oh, he's like, oh, okay, all right, sir. You have a nice day. And now, check this out. I usually find out who calls the cops. Now, I don't know how these people look. I usually don't know how they look, but the word usually gets out later on, a couple weeks later, a couple months later, who called the cops. The lady upstairs called the cops on me. I don't know why. They moved out, 5 months later. That's all I know. The other neighbor told me it was them. Because they saw me moved in there. Both of them. I don't know why. Just like when I was jogging down the street, some old lady said a suspicious guy is, running in the neighborhood. I never seen him before. And she lied. She has seen me before. Because I was there for 8 months. And everybody in that neighborhood knows each other. They might not know each other personally, but they know of each other. And what happens is the cop told me that it was just one lady that kept calling him all the time. And he got tired of coming down here. So one day, excuse me, one day he got the call, and he saw me running, jogging, and he said, hey, do me a favor. Could you hop in the car and let's go down here to this park, right? So I'm like, hey, what's up? He's like, I want these ladies to see you So they'll stop calling me all the time to come down here. So the dispatcher will stop calling me all the time to come down here. So I said, huh? So I said, all right. So I got in the car, went down to the park, got out. He smoked a cigarette, and he spilled the beans. He told me, see that lady right there in the blue? It's her that calls all the time. He said more than likely it's her, because I think he knew her some type of way or whatever, and he said he gets tired of coming down here all the time. He said just because you've never seen somebody before, or the person's black, that doesn't mean they're suspicious. He said, are they doing something it's not supposed to be doing? So after that, I never had no problems. See, this is the type of stuff we go through, and you can't escape it. No amount of money, fame, status, you can't escape it. You can't. I know some people with way more money than me, and they're well known, they go through the same shit. And I've stayed in all types of neighborhoods. As a matter of fact, this is my experience. That neighborhood where that lady saw me jogging, that neighborhood was mostly whites. Couple blacks, couple Hispanics, couple Asians. Right? I had more trouble over there than any place else in my life. Now, the neighborhoods where it's mostly blacks, handful of whites, handful of Asians, handful of Hispanics, there's a little, I had a little problem with running with cops from time to time. Now, the neighborhoods with mostly Hispanics, handful of whites, handful of Asians, handful of blacks, almost no problems. No problems. No. Matter of fact, I can't remember having any problems if the majority Hispanics. The neighborhood where I live at now, majority Hispanics. Handful of whites, handful of Asians, handful of blacks, no problem. That's been my experience. So the only time I've had major problems is when the neighborhood was the majority white. That's when I run into it. Even when I go to these big resorts, it's mostly whites there. And every once in a while, little stuff will happen, little subtle things, and I'll be like, huh? But I think what happened, Richard Sherman's wife calling the police on him, is foul. What happened between Richard and her uncle and the dad should have stayed at the house. Look, I've had people that have came over to my house. I think I had a cookout or some shit like that or whatever. And there's been times where everybody just ain't vibing. Everybody, they there for me, they respect me. But everybody ain't cool with everybody like that. So it's been times where people might have said something that offended somebody, whatever, and they didn't like it. And maybe somebody has some type of beef. But it never escalated. You know why? Because they respect me enough to respect my household. So I shut that shit down. So there's nothing that happens in my household that I can't handle. I don't need no damn cop to take care of my dirty laundry, take care of my dirty work. And what's disturbing to me is you got people that will look at Richard Sherman's behavior and say, oh man, he acting a fool. he deserved to have the cops call on him. That's bullshit. That's bullshit, man. Like I said, there's nothing that anybody can do in my household that I can't handle. I've never thought about calling the cops on anybody that I invited over. How you gonna invite someone over and call a cop on them? That's all fucked up. I've never thought about calling the cops on my brother, or my sister, or my mama. Some of us don't, we're not thinking. There's nothing can come out of that positive when a cop shows up. What you think the cop gonna do when he show up? Have a peace talk? Gotta use your critical thinking skills. It's in there somewhere. And it doesn't matter if you're in the right or wrong. If you call the cops, nothing can come out of that positive at this point. As a matter of fact, I actually told a cop one time, this is why I don't like calling y'all. Because when y'all show up, things escalate. They go from bad to worse. So, some people look at the video and they'll be like, oh, he's hitting on the door, this big, strong dude. Look, man, he ain't. Richard Sherman is not that big. I'm taller than him. Yeah, he might be bigger than me. He don't scare me. The big black dude don't scare me, man. Come on, man. It only scares beta dudes, for the most part. And I understand a lot of these old dudes feel intimidated by young dudes that's outperformed them, that's more successful than them. And a lot of these old dudes, you gotta watch a lot of these old dudes. A lot of these old dudes, you gotta watch them. Because they'll say little slick things, hit you with little jabs here and there, whatever. And you be looking at them like, man, if you don't get your old, crusty, dirt bag ass up out of here. But you gotta check them dudes. Man, what happens with a lot of younger dudes, they don't really have a lot of experience dealing with a lot of older dudes that's like that. And they don't really know what to say, what to do. And a lot of times they'll leave it up to the woman. Because a lot of young dudes will be like, yo, I ain't wanted to say nothing disrespectful with her dad, her uncle. You know what I'm saying? I just, it wasn't my place to say anything. I just let her take care of that. And see, it keeps going and on and on, and it escalates. See, you as a man, you got to shut that shit down. See, with Richard Sherman, he let it escalate. He probably was a being nice, respectable guy or whatever. But hey, sometimes being too nice don't work. Sometimes you got to tell some people to fuck off. She ain't gonna do that. She ain't gonna tell her dad. More than likely, she ain't gonna tell her dad, her uncle, the fuck off, right? So either you're gonna have to check them or you're gonna leave. You can't coexist in the same space like that. There's no man that feels good about himself that's gonna tolerate disrespect like that. Obviously, they disrespected the dude because he was telling them to come outside, pull up. But see, he let it go too far. I would have never let it go too far. I've been in situations like that where the dad is an old dirtbag, lame dude, didn't want me to be with his daughter. And I was like, yo, I'm out of here. Because I know me. I know how I am. I can't take too much of that back and forth slick talk. So I just rather just leave. But obviously Richard didn't do that. And this is probably an ongoing thing. And more than likely something probably happened before. But this probably where the shit probably blew up and turned into something else. And obviously they didn't have a good relationship with Richard either, because they pull out the gun. That's about you pull out a gun. Hey, you about to take it there. We'll put a bullet in him if need be. So that means there wasn't a lot of respect there between them. I ain't never pull out a gun on nobody. I ain't never pull out a gun on a family member or a friend or anybody I care about. I never done that before. I never thought about it. So you gotta just think. Think. People don't pull out guns on their family members or people that they care about. They don't. They pull out guns on their enemies all the time. And people that they don't care about all the time. Well, that's my opinion, and that's been my experience. I had cops call on me all the time, and I didn't even know it. You know, I've had a woman threatened me one time to call the cops, and I was out of there. I don't play around like that. So hey, you tell me your experience. Have you ever had cops call on you, rather by a woman or a stranger? Tell me your story below. Like, share the video. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.